Less than a year to the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics, and with that in mind, this weekend, national titles and spots on this year's world team are at stake. After night one, Asher Hong, one of the new stars of U.S. men's gymnastics, sits on top of the standings. Right behind him, Yul Moldauer, a veteran at this event and the only previous all-around champ in the field. Plus, another up-and-comer, Fred Richard, looks to make his mark. These three, along with the rest of America's best, are ready for night two of the national championships, starting now. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. It is another gorgeous day here on the West Coast, the Bay Area of California. Great look at San Francisco. We're just about an hour away in San Jose inside the SAP Center. Yes, the best gymnasts in America competing for national titles. You had night one the other night. Those scores do carry over into day two, and it's really anybody's game if you are in the top five right now. So we're thrilled to have you along. Terry Gannon alongside Tim Daggett, the Olympic champ, and also the 1986 U.S. all-around champ. You had Sam McCulloch, Brody Malone, Tim, the last several years really owning this title. Sam's moved on. Brody's hurt. So what we get to do is get a look at that next generation of stars for the U.S.
Absolutely, and it just feels different in here tonight. So often we get to this competition and it feels like it's almost predetermined who's going to come out on top. That is not the case here, and it's because of two teenagers that have just kind of ripped this open. Fred Richards and Asher Hong. They are phenoms, able to push the most difficulty in the USA and rival the best in the world, but they also have a veteran as well in Yul Moldauer. He's won this before. It's his birthday today. I asked him, what do you want for your birthday? Yul, he says, I want a second national all-around title.
Yeah, it's right there. 2017, 2023. We'll see by the end of the day. But a lot of work to do because it is really close. The standings after night one, it's Asher Hong on top. Great number there, but Yul is right there. Fred Richard, Koi Young, less than a point separating the top four. So, as we welcome in the four-time U.S. all-around champ, John Roethlisberger. John, it is so close.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, you guys. You know, the all-around competition here at the U.S. Championships, typically for the men, has been somewhat of a runaway. You alluded to it with Sam McCulloch and Brody Malone typically separating themselves from the field. However, they're not here, and the talk of night one is how close those top four athletes are. You said it, 1 point separating them. The last time it was that close was 2016, when 1 point separated the top 7 gymnasts. And if you're wondering how important is it to lead after night one of this competition, well, there's only been 4 times in the last 20 years that a gymnast has come from behind to win it on day two. But this is not your typical championships. It is razor thin. It is anybody's meat to win. And Terry, I know you're wondering right now, back in 1986, how close was that championship for Tim Daggett? Well, I dusted off the archives, I looked at all the black and white video, and I found out that Tim dominated to an 0.8 of a point win back in 1986.
John, way back in the archives. He told me it was a 10-point victory, though. So I don't know who to believe.
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting those numbers, Terry.
I'll tell you this. It is so close here. This is going to be great. Day one was close, and it all is settled on day two here in San Jose. The 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Core Hydration. Core Hydration believes that wellness is whatever works for you. Find your balance, find your core. By Prevagen. By Angie. Visit Angie.com to connect with skilled professionals for all your home projects. And by Xfinity, the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. We open up with one of the young stars looking to make an impact, the 20-year-old from Maryland, Koi Young, who is a star at Stanford, and he is one of those in the top 4, poised to make a run at a national title.
And Stanford is stacked. They have so many athletes out on the floor. 4 times in a row, NCAA title holders. Koi says they all enjoy having that target right on their back. Handstands are critical, pretty good there. Another handstand important. Probably 3/10 off on that one. Now going to show us some releases here. Very nice. So Terry, you have the national championships going on, but this is also the final trials for the world team in Antwerp, Belgium. Very nice and super clean. I think if he does his job tonight and is as equally good as he was day one, he's going to go to the World Championships.
Yeah, there is no World Selection Camp. They're not going to do that this year. So for the men, they're going to name it right away tomorrow, and they'll know the best team. They'll feed those numbers into a computer and see what the best team would be, the highest scoring team, and Corey Young right in the mix.
And if you took those numbers and you put in day one, that team is the top 5 in the all-around. Asher, Ewell, Frederick, Coy, and then Paul Judah. That's the team after day one.
Rising junior at Stanford, Corey Young. And recently, a few weeks ago, the Core Hydration Classic, we saw a number of these athletes compete there. He was second in the all-around. So a great start to his season and to day 2. All right, you talked about him. 27 today, Yul Moldauer, and one of the veterans, and in second place after the opening night.
Yeah, but his recent year in 2022 was very disappointed for him. He did not qualify for the world team, and he said it was really hard. He did not like it. He was an alternate for that event. Talked to one of his longtime teammates at the University of Oklahoma, Alan Bauer, who has been an alternate many times. He said, don't let anybody know you're disappointed, but use it and use it for your fuel.
Opening up on rings in second overall.
Really nice position right there. Held for more than 2 seconds. You got to hold every one of these strength parts for at least 2. This one is a flange. Very well done. And this has got to be a little better than night one, and it is. Nowhere near done, though. Nice swing to a handstand right there. Nice position, the iron cross, perfectly level. This has got to go right to the cross. Boom. Excellent. I think a little better than night one so far. Dismount. Got a stick. Oh!
He does so often, Tim.
He does. And that was close. And you know what? He's usually so good at being absolutely patient, waiting for it, bending his knees a little bit more. I think he kind of stood up a little too quickly and took that small little hop, less than a foot, so it'll be a 10th of a point deduction.
You talk about not making the World Championship team, being an alternate. That has been his motivation. And he said, coming into this week's competition, this isn't just the U.S. Championships. It is the World Championship trials for me. That's how I have to get back to the World Championships. All right, take it back over to High Bar, and Asher Hong is coming up next. The 19-year-old from Texas, also a star at Stanford. How about on night one, his family watching? On the left here, that's Rick and Karen, his brother Kiefer, his other brother Xander, also a big-time gymnast.
Good.
And they're doing that routine with Asher, like every parent that has a little gymnast, boy or girl. It looks exactly like that. It's torturous as a parent. I did it.
Every move. I know it's harder, right?
Oh, God.
No question.
Yes.
By the way, his other brother Xander was not in that picture. They were sitting with the gymnast, finished third in the junior men's competition earlier today. So here's our first look today at Asher Hong, the leader after night one.
And I'll tell you what, he competed at his first Worlds in 2022. He's just a kid in gymnastics terms, and he was spectacular, like a veteran. Ended up 6th in the all-around at his first Worlds. Biggest test right here. Gotta grab the bar. Beautiful. He didn't do what he was planning on night one. Let's see if he goes over the top. Nope, same thing. No deduction, but a little bit less difficulty. Woo. That was a little close to the bar. Very good fight for him, and did it the right way. Didn't bend his elbows on that giant. Look at the handstand. Does he get there? Little bit shy of the handstand, probably 3/10 of a point. Double-double laid out. Another small hop forward. He was the envy of Team USA at the 2022 Worlds because he was having so much fun out there. He said, I worked my entire life to get here. This is the reward. I'm going to enjoy it.
The reaction was just like his family on night one.
I tell you what, Tim, that routine right there, it's only 1 of 6, but that is so huge to start on high bar. I don't know about you, I hated starting on high bar. The worst place to start. That is more than 1/6 of his meet to get to a national title.
Why is it the worst place to start?
You're so nervous.
And you're amped.
And you're amped and you're nervous, and you can't be amped and nervous.
Yes, you cannot. Because if you're too amped, you go a little too high on your release, you wander a little bit away from that bar.
All right, here's the 19-year-old Fred Richard from Massachusetts, who, to start at Michigan, he starts on vault.
Could be in for a big surprise here. And he does it!
Oh.
That is the first time he has competed that. Super difficult. He told us he wasn't going to do it at the championships, but felt so good in warm-ups. This is so hard. 3 times around. Handspring, double front, 3 flips, and at the end, watch, he's gonna glance at the floor with his eyes, turn his shoulders, add that half turn. It makes it much more difficult, but you see that he is stepping off the mat, so he will incur a 3/10 neutral deduction for that.
We'll get the number for him in a moment. Corey Young, who started on high bar, 13-3. At execution, 8.4, Tim.
Yeah, it's a good score. And you know, high bar isn't really where he excels. He is phenomenal on vault and pommel horse.
How about you? 14.214.
It's actually a very good score for him.
Absolutely.
Night one had only a 12.85.
Yes! Come on!
Now cheering for his teammates, Stanford Cardinal teammates, 13.15, and just getting a little help. Green is excellent. The yellow is safe, and red is below average. Obviously, you want to be in green.
Let's go, Jerry! Put it down! Get it!
All right, over to pommel horse for the first time, and the 24-year-old from Spring Park, Minnesota, Shane Wiskus, in 9th place after the opening night. An Olympian in Tokyo.
And like Yul Moldauer, an Olympian that did not qualify to the last World Championships. You see, he said he had to have a major reset after the selection competition for that. Traveled to Europe to just get his mind free. His coach, Sykes Caesar, said he thought he had done enough to make that team.
Like so many gymnasts, has dealt with injuries, including a knee injury since then. 2022. Here we go.
Yeah, he says since the Olympics, the last 2 years have been the hardest of my life by far. He sometimes can get a little bit tight on pommel horse. That was excellent, and probably one of his biggest challenges. It's a good rhythm. Look, you see the legs fly apart a little bit. And that's just a little, and once again right there, this is just a little bit of nerves. But I'll tell you what, a lot of knee bends and a lot of places for judges to put pen to paper, and when they're putting the pen down, it's usually -1, -3.
And needed a good start here on day 2.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's okay. It's just okay, barely okay.
Good job, man. Good job.
Fred Richard for vault, 14.102.
Yeah, you know, it's higher than he got day 1, only 13.75 day 1, so it actually worked out well for him.
See that bonus, that's part of the USA Gymnastics for the men, adding the the bonus, encouraging you to do the more difficult moves. Also earlier, the 22-year-old from the Chicago area, Paul Judah, on a vault in the top 5 going into day 2.
Actually doing an easy vault for him. Beautiful. 2.5 twisting. Sukahara, or 1.5 Kazumatsu. Actually stuck that at the NCAA championships in 2022 to win the all-around title and defeat the great Brody Malone.
Another man who's had a number of injuries too since that last Olympic run. Helped the U.S. gain an extra spot at the Olympics with what he did at the Mid-American Championships. Wiskus 12.85.
Yeah, that is not good. Almost a full point less than he got night 1, and night 1 didn't finish the way he wanted.
Pommel horse specialist and the world champ, first ever for the U.S. That was back in 2021. Steven Nedorodzik. He's up first on pommel. Doesn't have to wait tonight.
Yeah, it's a total contrast. In day 1, he was last event. It's such a long night before he gets to go. This is really tricky right here. Up and back down. Perfect. Off the charts difficult, this combination right here. See how many times he spins. Very good. Oh, hit the horse a little bit. He's just absolutely gorgeous on this event. Beautiful rhythm, beautiful lines. I'll tell you what, he hits this last part right here. And he is definitely in the discussion for that world team because of this one event only, right here, pommel horse.
He's got the goggles on too tonight. Didn't have them on night 1.
That was awesome.
Oh, that was so good.
That was bad for your knee, dummy.
Oh, it's fine, whatever.
Oh, that was awesome. Woo, feels good to just give me some. Be in that moment. Little
Best in the world. Best
at
in
the
the
start,
world.
but man, I made it. I brought it back. Woo! Guess McCulloch is the skill I gotta work. Day 1 and 2, a little bit weird, but oh, I'm so happy with that.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that routine right there, it was scheduled to be a 6-9 difficulty. That would be the highest difficulty score in this entire competition should they do what they did night 1. And I tell you what, each skill is given a value, a letter grade, right? And each letter grade is given a point value. That guy right there, he used the whole alphabet. That routine is absolutely insane, the difficulty level. And Tim, you alluded to it too. The top 5 all-arounders were the best scoring team from night 1. But that routine right there could topple the apple cart for those all-arounders.
Because the U.S. needs for the team certain individual apparatus and guys who can do very well. 15.844. Is that Brody Malone he was protecting?
Yes, he was.
Watch out for your knee.
Saying watch out for your knee. But that score right there, 15.844, is a huge improvement over night 1. And I'll tell you what, you put all those scores into the computer and picking that top 5 team, he is going to be right on the line for that, no question.
All right. Donnell Wittenberg, the veteran, at the age of 29, moment ago, started on parallel bars in 7th place overall after the opening night.
Such a powerful athlete. Usually don't see power on parallel bars, but he shows it even here. Had a great night 1. But an injury that came about with a twisties incident on floor exercise that had him land on his upper back and neck kind of prohibited him from preparing his biggest event, which is vault. He's capable of doing one of those huge vaults. He didn't do it day 1 and not planning on doing it today as well. Nice routine, pretty darn clean.
5-time member of the World Championships team looking to get to an Olympics. Was an alternate back in 2016. 13.9 the number. A lot of people cheering for Donnell Wittenberg to make it to the Olympics. The end of his what he says towards the end of his career. 22-year-old from Texas, Colt Walker, also a moment ago, up on high bar.
And you know, he is in the discussion for that world championship team as well. He was part of the 2022 team. Pretty good handstand, maybe a 1/10 of a point off. Got to catch this bar though. Woo! That was fingertips. One more right here. Nicely done. Now right here, day one, he had problems. Came off the bar on this combination. Not today, but a little bit of bent elbows, which, yeah, the judges, they're picky. That's a deduction, can't do that. Well, much better than night one because no fall, but he still does open the door in a number of places.
Really a breakthrough year, 2022, trying to build on that, and entered today just outside the top 5, so not far back, 13.6.
Come on.
And how about Riley Lewis, the 22-year-old from El Dorado Hills, California, in 8th place after the opening night and his effort on high bar.
Riley has actually improved quite a bit on this event. Does one of those major releases. This one's a walk in the park for him. This one right here, really tricky. It's called a Lukin. Full twisting Tkachev, named after Olympic champion Valery Lukin. We'll also try to connect them. It's good, but you know, he's just a little soft in his elbows and his knees in a lot of places. Looking for a handstand right here, and that was not. That's at least 3/10 of a point, bordering on 5/10 off for that one skill. Everybody is a little bit jumpy when they're landing today. Nobody is taking the time. A lot of times that can be a little bit of nerves.
I was going to say, nerves early on?
A little bit. Just too quick.
So 7.8 for the execution, even 13 for high bar, and Riley Lewis.
Exactly what he got night one.
All right, how about Brandon Briones? Interesting because, you know, he broke through a couple of years ago at the national championships. His first senior national championships, he was 4th in the all-around. Since then, injuries, including a major knee injury.
Yeah, a major knee injury that required, you know, a couple different surgeries. They went in, cleaned everything up, took out some cartilage, harvested it, grew it, then had to go back in, implant it in the divot that was there. He's also battled wrist injuries and has had surgeries there as well.
That is a very vivid description.
Yes.
Doctor.
Well, he actually used the term crater. Had to fill the crater in.
Oh, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, seriously, Tim, that was, I was getting a little squeamish here. You're telling me about harvesting cartilage, and amazing what they can do, certainly.
But he is an athlete that is only doing 3 events at this championships. Yeah. And so he can't factor in for the national title in the all-around. But he is a factor for the team of the World Championships. And this routine right here is his most critical one right now. Because Team USA, without Brody Malone, when Brody Malone went out, they have a huge hole on high bar. They really need another gymnast on that team that is not just okay, not serviceable, but great on high bar, and he fits the bill if he can get the job done.
Doing high bar, vault, and still rings here at the national championships. And he did have a wrist injury too. They just went in and fixed that.
Yeah.
It was normal.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
Yeah.
You know, I remember watching this guy growing up and seeing him when he was younger. Coy Young said it to me. He said, you know, it's like I watched Brandon Briones when I was a kid, and I was like, how can he be that good? He said, he used to be my idol. Now I'm his teammate. I can't let him down.
It is like that in all sports, though, isn't it? And you look up to even someone who's just a couple years older than you are, and you think, boy, I'd just love to be as good as that athlete someday. And then a couple years down the line, if it works out, you are competing with or against those athletes.
And it's a bad sign when it takes this long to get the score. Usually means that it won't be a good score for the gymnast that was waiting. It was Blake Soon, and unfortunately came off the bar, I believe. So the keys, you got to fly high, you got to grab the bar on those releases, and you got to hit the handstands.
Stick the landing?
Well, you got to stick the landing too, Terry. And there's his first one, very nicely done. Got another one right here. This one in tucked position. Really nice, unusual skill on the men's side. A lot of the women do that type of element. And this is great so far. Just jam-packed with difficulty. Let's see the handstand if he gets this. No, that is 3/10 off. Not a cat, not a but that one right there. That is a full half of a point off. That's too bad right there. And finally, a stick. But yeah, he knows it though, that last element. It's called a half Takamoto. And in the code of points, the rule book, it's a half Takamoto to handstand. So it has to finish there. And that was at least 3, and I think probably 5 off on that one skill.
And needs to make the most of every apparatus that he is on tonight. Just 3 of the 4. Did stick the landing.
Yes, he did.
All right, so Asher Hong started on a high bar, had the lead going into day 2. So he had fun on the high bar and afterwards too. And coordination. That's nice. Together. Teammates from Stanford. There are 11 athletes here from Stanford. I mean, 4 national championships, and the stars right here on display. Moldauer, though, has made a move. Talk about that when we continue from San Jose. Back in San Jose to tell you, don't forget to get social with the hashtag Xfinity Champs and follow USGymChampionships.com for more information. Heading to rotation 2, day 2 for the men here at the National Championships. 27th birthday. What did he want for a present?
He wanted a national title.
Just win, baby. Yul Moldauer on top. He's made that move. Fred Richard right there. Asher Hong, who started on high bar in 3rd. Paul Judah was 5th, moves up to 4th, and Coy Young rounding out the top 5 as we are set for the second rotation of 6 here, day 2. Back to remind you, defending 200-meter world champ Noah Lyles leads the stars of Team USA as they take on the best athletes from around the world at the World Track and Field Championships tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern on NBC. And some great races, great calls there. It's really good.
Very exciting.
SAP Center here in San Jose. Rotation 2. Here's a man in 10th after the first rotation. He's in 8th coming into day 2. Riley Lou. 10th in the all-around last year at the National Championships.
Really, for Riley, it is all about the landings. For everybody it is, but sometimes he can be a little bit hoppy, not have that patience I'm talking about. Combination. Oh boy. And that was a big mistake right there. Probably a full point off. He did not sit down, but and it was aggressive. He was really going for that, and that's what happens. Sometimes you go big and you can fall short, and he did on that mount.
But that is the fine line all the time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And USA Gymnastics for the men trying to encourage the members to take up more difficult aspects and skills.
Without a question. You know, the USA was going into competitions in Tokyo, for example, you know, many points behind Japan, China, Russia in potential score before the meet even began. Really pushing that. And the two youngsters, as I said, Asher Hong and Fred Richard, really helping to push that. Settled down a little bit there, but that mount is going to be a little bit painful.
Speaking of painful, how painful are those landings?
Well, if you they can be extremely painful. If you land short on something,
yeah.
it just sends a zing through your body, your ankles. Mine were terrible.
Now the man who moved from second into first after that opening rotation. He started on still rings. Here is Yul Moldauer trying to win his second U.S. all-around title. The first one coming back in 2017.
And he was good day one, but not great. And he can be right here. Oh! A little bit better, though, than night one. Just a tiny little hop. He's a big enough star to have his own name on his shirt.
You didn't have that?
He's a little sloppy from the board and to the table. You see his legs come apart, but like I said, definitely better than night one, and so was this. The landing, just the smallest little hop to the side. If the judges get it right, that was a 1/10 hop. Not three judges, one.
Did you hear him? Did you hear Tim Daggett? I hope you're listening. One, not three. So we'll get the number in a moment, and the man who's now in third after that opening rotation, Asher Hong, over on floor exercise. Wasn't great on this night one, John?
You know, as excited as we got about his high bar routine, people at home are probably wondering, why did he drop to third? And the frustrating part about men's gymnastics is high bar is a low-scoring event. Fred Richards on vault had a little bit of a rough time, but moved ahead of him. You just got to keep that in mind. The other guys still have to go to those events that tend to be lower scoring. He is in great shape still.
Steps out of bounds, and this right here, he sat down day one. Not today, but that right there is going to be about 6/10 off on the landing. You know, he makes that pass look so easy, that double twisting, double layout, but it is anything but. He just really has to worry about doing his gymnastics, though. He's got enough difficulties, just got to be clean, relaxed. Got to get a stick here, and that one's kind of a, got to stick it. You can't take a hop on that. Dismount triple twist. Another hop, that one, a 3/10 hop though. Good, very good, but not great. Opened the door just a little bit.
Yeah, may have. Got to remember, he's only 19 years of age. He's part of that next generation, still a student at Stanford, part of a national championship there, but also a science, technology, and society major. So he's really happy about that because there's no more math required.
Yeah, exactly. So this was his second pass. He sat this down day one, and he goes extra hard on it. You go too hard, you take a bounding step forward. That's a 3, maybe 5/10 step, and 1/10 for going out of bounds. Should be a better score than he got night one, though.
Yeah, bit of a struggle night one on that event. 14.35, the number for the vault. Moldauer.
That's a good score. 1/10 better than he did day one.
That's the other aspect, too. When you talk about what events are remaining in vault, normally a higher scored event, so you have to factor that in as you keep track of the standings. Do you, as an athlete, do you look at that as soon as you get those rotations and where you fit in? Does it weigh on your mind?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
bet.
you know the competition. You've scouted them, you know, every single day of your life. You've done spreadsheets on who fits
really?
in. Oh, gosh, yeah.
Oh, it's that detailed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, especially if you're a bubble guy, it's, you know, they are friends with Excel.
Go, Bean! Let's go, Bean!
So 14,061.
Yeah, it's a big number.
That's good.
Absolutely. Much better than day one.
Yeah,
Even
Jerry!
with the penalties.
Yeah, but remember, he had a fall, which is a full point, night one.
True.
Come on! Good work! Let's go, Jerry! Good work!
All right, we started the night talking about the fact that wasn't a whole lot of drama the last several years. Sam McCulloch and then this man, Brody Malone, the last couple of times. Last year in Tampa at the National Championships, really taking over and becoming a two-time U.S. all-around champ. Unfortunately, he's injured, not able to compete this week. He is with John, though.
Thanks, Terry. Brody, not where you want to be on the sidelines watching this competition, but tell everybody at home, what was the injury, how did it happen, and what's happened since then?
Yeah, so I was at a competition in Stuttgart, really fun competition. I've been there in the past, and was in high bar finals and had an unfortunate slip off the bar during my dismount tap and not a very good landing.
So you've had a few surgeries. Tell us about the process you've been through since that time.
Yeah, I had 3 surgeries, 1 in Germany and 2 back at Stanford. It's been just kind of slow and steady progress since then, but I'm getting back.
So I heard you got some good news, though, from the doctor that said you should be able to do floor and vault, meaning you should be able to do the all-around by championships of next summer. What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome. I'm super excited. I was very, very happy when I heard that news. I'm just looking forward to it, and especially being in this atmosphere right now, it's super motivating, and I just wish I was out there, but, you know, got a while to go. Just got to be patient.
So the U.S. men going to the World Championships this fall without you, not what you thought would be happen, not what Team USA thought, but got some young studs out there. What do you think they can do?
Well, they're looking great. They're definitely looking really good. You know, Fred and Asher have been killing it. They did a great job on the first day. I'm excited to see what they do today.
Cool. We're looking forward to seeing you back out there again soon. Thanks, guys.
John, we really are. We miss him here, and wish him all the best on the road to recovery and hoping to be part of that effort in Paris.
I think he will be, Terry. He's a special kind of person.
All right, Paul Judah moved up from 5th to 4th with the opening rotation a few moments ago on parallel bars.
And Paul Judah is probably one of the top 10 cleanest gymnasts in the world. He is just so nice to watch. Everything. Toes are completely extended. Beautiful body positions. He's the kind of a gymnast that matters to him. He wants it to not just make it, but make it look beautiful. And sometimes that can cause some problems, but when he's on, it's spectacular. He stuck this night one. Everybody's a little bit jumpy on the landings today, but a very, very beautiful exercise for him.
Michigan grad, 13.15 for parallel, but lower than he expected.
Yeah, a little bit lower than I thought, for sure. He went 13.5 in day one, and it was basically the same routine. He just took that little extra hop at the landing.
Check in with Shane Wiskus, who a moment ago was on still rings. Remember, he came into the night in the top 10. He was 9th.
But Pommel Horse did not go like he wanted to at all. But this is an event where Shane really can be quite clean and not give away a lot of deductions. Both of those were held for a good solid 2 seconds. That's what you want. This one right here, definitely held long enough. The position wasn't as perfect as I would have liked to have seen, but very good. perfectly straight, locked out arms on that press to handstand, turned out rings. Arms aren't on the straps, something they're looking for. 2 flips and 2 twists on this dismount. Well, big step forward on that. That's at least 3/10 of a point, plus probably saying he wasn't as prepared as he could be for the landing.
Olympic debut in Tokyo helped the U.S. men to a 5th place finish there, which is where they've been lately. The last time they medaled at a World Championship was back in 2014, so trying to improve on that. All right, set up the bars now. Fred Richard, 2nd place after the opening rotation. And not only a sensation in the gym, but also on TikTok, on social media. Some of the things he's posted, check these out. This is, I mean, it's great. Watch this, my favorite.
That's how I used to get dressed in the morning too, right there.
I like this one, John. The Cups Challenge, 15.
I just want to know how many times his coaches come in the gym and go, Fred, what are you doing?
Yeah, he actually told us.
Don't do that.
They've come in a couple of times and said, that's not a good idea, Fred.
You know what, though? He has fun with it, but he takes it seriously. He's like I want to grow the sport, too, which that's an aspect of it.
Absolutely, and he wants this to be his career. His career, he told me, has already started. He has over 600,000 followers on TikTok, and he works at it every day. They have planning and strategy meetings.
If someone told you that 10 years ago, you'd have looked at them like, excuse me?
I would have said, tick what?
Here we go.
This is a new-ish element for him, and actually did it much better than day one. Big release. Oh, gorgeous. Big release from one end to the other. I asked Fred if he would be better today than night one, and he said, I am always better in the finals. Was 9th at the World University Games in qualifying in the all-around, ended up 4th in the all-around finals. Oh boy, and that right there, every hand step is a deduction.
Man, I tell you what, I talked to Fred before the competition and about night one, Tim, and he said, I was pretty average. You know, everybody wants to hit 6 for 6, but he wanted to be great. And I tell you what, I was about to tell you, that was great. And then he took those few steps, and you got to just wonder, as close as this is, a few steps here and there, that type of thing can be the difference.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he has gotten so many of his really tricky stuff out of the way. This is called a Healy, a full spin on one arm. And this is another full spin. It's exactly opposite. A Diamond-off, and look at the legs come apart. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. So you have 4/10 off for just stepping plus the form deduction.
And you do get the feeling it is going to come down to mistakes like that. And avoiding them, it is so close. Top 4 within a point to start the evening. Top 3 right now there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also asked Fred, how old do you feel today? You know, everyone's a little worn out their 2nd day of competition. I said, do you feel 19 today? He goes, no, I feel 24 or 25. And I said, why 24 or 25? He said, because that's the prime age. That's when you're in your prime. And I always feel like I'm in my prime.
So it was a positive, not a negative.
See,
absolutely.
And that's what's great about him. He can turn every situation into a positive, and he does it constantly.
About the number you expected? Or?
Yeah, it's about the number I expected. Actually, could have been a little bit lower. He kind of came away a little bit unscathed on that.
Okay, another one of those names in the mix. He started on high bar, now over to floor. Coy Young. And he had the best score in this event on night one.
Which was a surprise.
14.65 was the number, so.
A surprise for me, a surprise for him, his coaches. He's very good on floor, doesn't have the highest level of difficulty, but in the new era of gymnastics, I don't know if I've seen a significantly cleaner routine done than what he did night one. His landings were impeccable.
Hey, Tim, I'm curious, though. So often you see guys stick landings or do perfect routines, and then the next time it's not so perfect. You competed, obviously. What does that ever get in their head? Do you think that they're trying to be that same amount of perfect rather than just doing good gymnastics?
Well, if he tries to be that perfect again, I think it won't bode well for him. He just has to go out and do what he does. But he has a great quality. He says, I never get too high. I never get too low. I'm very even. It doesn't matter the situation. Rock star on the first one.
1 for 1.
He stuck that night one, but just a small little hop. Once again, beautiful double laid out somersault, but in the qualifying or day one round, he was perfect. Had 2 little steps that he didn't have. And this is a more like normal routine. He's always very clean and good at landing. But this is what you typically expect to see. You know, very clean landings, but just small little corrections 2 or 3 times in the exercise. This is important for him, but what's more important is the event that's next, Pommel Horse, because Team USA needs that. Another place where he took a hop that he didn't night one. Very good.
It's pretty close, though. There were small steps.
They were all small. In my opinion, they were all on the level of a 1/10 step. But I got to tell you, these judges, they don't like to give you 1/10 steps. It has to be a foot or less in distance.
Still some memory there from when you were competing, I think. Every time you talk about the judges, I think still there. So we'll see what they do with poor Young here on floor.
And this was carbon copy to night one. Look at this, so authoritative, bam. He doesn't just stick it, he like opens his legs and slams his feet to the ground. That's confidence.
It's that aspect. You're 2 of the top gymnasts here, but your teammates as well. Support. All right, Alex Diab, specialist, still rings 2-time national champ. He was 2nd last year, 26-year-old from Glen Ellen. This the effort on rings. Somewhat limited this time around.
Yeah, just take a look at his left leg right there. You see it's kind of funky looking. He's got a knee brace on there. Had some ligament damage at the Winter Cup earlier this year. But he is strong. And he always has been. From when he was a little kid. Very, very nice inverted cross. Kind of runs in the family of Diab's. His dad was an NCAA champion on still rings as well. But because of the knee injury, he hasn't been training as long. He's only able to do a C-level dismount. And that means that he'll lose an automatic 3/10 of a point over what he's typically capable of doing. Just a double layout right here. But he does what you need to do. He sticks it.
He held right there. And he goes into that routine knowing it's somewhat limited points-wise. 2-time NCAA champ, University of Illinois.
So one thing we like to talk about are the Maltese positions. Tim, you've talked about it a lot. That one right there looks perfectly flat. I talked to one of the judges about rings before the competition started, and I said, who does the best Maltese? Said Diab does the best one, and that one right there looked about like no deduction.
I usually don't agree with you, John, but I would agree with that.
Good admission there. There's the bonus and 14.383 for Alex Diab. Coy Young, even 14 for Floor.
Yeah, it was much better night one.
Yeah, mid-14s on night one, so just 14 right there. So we'll see where they stand as we continue. Look ahead to rotation 3, day 2 for the men. Two rotations in here, day 2, 8 in all at this point. You put together the scores from day 1 to day 2. It's got a little closer at the top. Moldauer now up by that .141 over Fred Richard. Asher Hong still in third. Dallas Hale has done vault, P-bars. He was in 10th coming into the night, up to 4th, and Coy Young rounding out the top 5. So look ahead to rotation 3 in a moment here in San Jose. Back with a reminder, Big Ten football is coming to NBC and Peacock. Kick things off, West Virginia takes on Penn State. The premiere of Big Ten Saturday night. Here comes Saturday night. Notre Dame Navy in Ireland today was cool. Back here in San Jose, rotation 3. Yul Moldauer, the leader. He's going to go over to parallel bars now, and he was terrific opening night. Second best number on night 1.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. And I'll tell you what, it's so tight at the top between Yul and Fred Richard. Yul really needs another routine like he had day 1, because Fred is on high bar where he is just off the charts. Really tricky element right there and done exceedingly well. Another one. Great fight. Was a little bit off on it, but doesn't telegraph a problem to the judges. Very nice. He was perfect on the dismount. Night 1. Needs a stick right here again. And it was excellent. Probably not the 15.805.
That's about as big a step as you're going to get from Yul Moldauer. It wasn't low.
You're exactly right. Very tricky element right here. It's a giant to a Diamondov type skill. And then watch right here. Does it again, but to 1 bar and then continues the spin down. When you do that, it's called a Makutz, and it's really, really hard.
It all looks hard, man. 15.8 was his number on the opening night at parallel bars. So 3 of the 6 done for Yul Moldauer. Get the number in a moment. Critical time, though, just a moment ago for Asher Hong on pommel horse.
Yeah! Let's go! I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's a lot of gymnastics left, but this routine could be the winner for him because his last 3 events, he is lights out. If he just stays on horse, man, he puts himself in a great spot.
And he's great everywhere, John, but pommel horse is really, he's not built for this like he is floor exercise or vault parallel bars. Very nice look, keeping his hips nice and open. Got to stay on that pommel for 1 more circle. So you're exhausted at this point in time, and the judges relentlessly want to see you fly up to a handstand, and that is a mistake right there. He was supposed to do another pirouette, and because he didn't, that'll cost him another 0.3 of a point.
It's a little flat, and there's his score, Tim. 7-4 execution, though. I think you and I, this is one place where we'll agree. I think they're way too hard on him, on his execution. Sure, he doesn't look like a Steven Nedorosik when he swings, but he is really clean, and I think they're just, I don't know if they're predisposed to assuming he's got those deductions, but I think that should be higher.
I agree with you, John. Absolutely.
We'll see how critical that is, too, because you mentioned very good on the remaining 3 events, but right in that number 15.555 for your medal for parallel bars, the leader.
A very big number. Once again, not as bright and shiny as day one, but still
What's up,
excellent.
everybody back at home? All my friends. Love you guys.
There you go. Advertisement as well. Moment ago, Kern Phillips, the 23-year-old from Naperville, Illinois, the Chicago area product, on vault.
And he can do this vault just like nothing. Beautiful form. Oh, and just the smallest hop forward. Now, Terry, that was a 1/10 hop. 9.6. That's what I was looking for.
They agreed with you.
Absolutely.
You're happy.
That's a big thing for him.
He was really good on parallel bars, too. All right, a moment ago, Paul Judas dropped the 7th right now.
Love you guys.
Bar, so an important event for him.
Well, remember, Terry, night one, he came off the bar on a skill.
Remember, it was early on, a number of athletes came off the bar.
His biggest test is right here, double flip over the bar. Gorgeous. Such good rhythm. Another release right here. Very nice. This is where he came off the bar, day one. He missed his hands. Not today. Fantastic. The judges have deductions down on their paper right now. Maybe a 10th on that, but I have almost none. He is one of the cleanest gymnasts, certainly in the US, if not the world, and that was pretty darn good too. I'll tell you what though, that is going to help a lot for Paul Judah.
How much would you have thought about that one point in your routine after it happened 2 nights ago?
Oh, he was thinking about it, and he was saying to himself, I got to get back to that bar a little bit quicker. You want to be far from the bar for that combination sequence, but not that far, Paul. That was great.
All right, a moment ago, Donnell Wittenberg on floor exercise in 9th place going into this 3rd rotation.
He also does a lot of combination tumbling like that. Very difficult. This is gorgeous. Double twisting, double. And look at that. That's what we see from Donnell a lot of times on floor. That was at least 3, if not 4, little hops and going out of bounds. So every time the judges are relentless. They are going to deduct at least a 10th every time his feet move. This is his 3rd go-round trying to qualify for an Olympic Games. He was nearly a shoo-in in 2016. He thought he did enough to make that team, was just shy of it. Really hard, double-double right there. Ended up being a traveling alternate. Full twisting double right here, gotta get the landing. Very good.
Yeah, that experience as an alternate has stayed with him and driven him to this point. Still driving him, trying to make it to Paris. Nearly 14.6, the number.
Yeah, it's a good number. He's got a lot of extra bonus. You see that right there. That's added in. USA Gymnastics has done that to help the guys, motivate them to close the gap in difficulty with the Chinese and the Japanese gymnasts.
Shane Wiskus, short time ago, he was on vault in 12th going into the rotation.
I did not see this in real time here. He was great day one. And just good this time, not quite as good in the air, and is a perfect landing day one.
And that step at the end of this execution, even 9-14-2. thinking about those events coming up at this point if you're an athlete? Or?
Oh, absolutely. And he's got actually 3 events left that are really big ones for him in relation to where Team USA is a little weaker and where USA is strong.
Visualization, such a big part at this level. Fred Richard is going to go on high bar next. So Terry Gannon, Tim Daggett, John Roethlisberger, got an Olympic gold medalist here with me and 4-time U.S. all-around champ. Watching the men, the best in America here. Day 2 of the U.S. Gymnastics Championships from San Jose.
And I was just out on the floor talking to the vice president of the men's program, Jason Woodneck, and also talked to Brett McClure before this competition. Just said, how do you feel? What do you think about the competition so far? And they both kind of lit up. And one thing they told me that I found interesting is that said 5 guys night 1 scored over an 84. And that's an 84 without this extra bonus. He said at the last championship, there was only 3 scores above 84 without the bonus, 2 of which were Brody Malone. And so to have 5 guys doing that here already at this championships, they feel really good about it.
And going ahead to the World Championships, you get rid of that bonus then at that point. It's all about pure scores.
Absolutely. But, you know, it's the young teenagers. This guy right here, Fred Richards, Asher Young, who are really pushing the veterans. But the thing that's so important is the veterans aren't going away quietly. Big release. Little bit close to the bar on that. Had to bend his elbows on the giant. Also close. Now he'll try to do these releases in combination. Very nice. Got to fly high, but you also got to hit a handstand. So right here, let's look. And that was really good. I would say 1/10 of a point, maybe. That one, 1/10, maybe 3. Get the landing. Oh!
Had the landing too.
He had it again. All these guys. Frederick flips. Got a website, got some merchandise.
Hey, speaking of merchandise, he forgot his uniform on night 1. Got all the way through the warm-ups. The last apparatus, took his sweats off and realized he didn't have his uniform. Sent an assistant coach back to the hotel to get it, just in the nick of time.
Literally in the nick of time. They were in the one-touch warm-up when Jordan Gerenstrom got back with the uniform. That's a learning moment. That'll never happen again. So it was a great routine, a little bit close on some of the releases, but really, he does that piking. He changes his body shape to generate extra power, pull the bar down, and when you pull the bar down, it goes back up again, thrusts your body a little higher in the air, and look at this, just stay down a second longer.
Oh, he had it.
Starts straightening up.
Guys, high bar releases nowadays, utter insanity, but let's just get a little perspective on this. This is the Casino, full twisting double A out over the bar. So stop it right there, and now look at the height. From the surface of the podium to the bar is about 9 feet. His head is about another 6 feet. He's about 15 feet above the ground, and that person in the suite up there, they got an eye-to-eye view. That is absolutely amazing gymnastics, and honestly just a human feat that I'm still in awe in.
Yeah. And a big solid metal bar right between you and the floor.
You nailed it, absolutely.
Got it. Come on, Cal!
How about that number?
It's a good number, but likely, like it should be, not as good as night 1 because night 1 was better with a 15.105.
Yeah, there we go! Good. You got it, Cam. Come on, Cam, work that! Yes, sir! Come on! Yes, sir, Cam!
So we're going to go over to Pommel Horse, and short time ago, Corey Young here in rotation 3. Young about 2 points off the lead of Yul Moldauer going into this rotation. Here's what he did.
And he is one of the best in the U.S., if not in the world, on Pommel Horse. He struggled at the very end, day one. Needs a big routine here, and he is capable of it. Steven Nedorozic is the specialist on pommel horse that has the huge number. So in a lot of ways, the scenarios that will put together that world team, if Coy is able to put together a big number, that doesn't bode well for Steven Nedorozic, and so far this is pretty great. Dismount where he struggled day one. Woo, that was close, but he held on. Love seeing that. Kind of like he was riding a bull there at the end. Had to get that hand down and did.
Good job. Come on, dude.
It's not close to Nedorozic's number. It's under 15, and Steven was 15.8 and change.
Yeah, but that is a very big number for him, and really important routine for him in consideration to make that world team.
3 more.
It's inevitable. Somebody points that out all the time. This is what we have left.
6 total.
3 more rotations, 3 more events.
Oh, hi to the mom. Dad?
Who else? Stanford. Shout out Stanford.
We got to keep going if we keep the camera.
Absolutely.
I don't blame him. All right, how about a moment ago, Riley Lewis, top
3
10.
down, 3 to go.
Going into the 3rd rotation. Here's what he did on pommel.
He's actually improved quite a bit on pommel horse. You know, going way back to the pandemic, you know, when everything shut down, he said it was actually a positive for him because he was able to gain so much difficulty. Like 3 points of extra gymnastics he added during that downtime. Little bit, and there it is. That's nerves right there. He breaks form a little bit because he's just a little cautious on it, doubts himself just a bit. Very nice handstand dismount, though. A good, solid routine for Riley.
During that
3 down,
shutdown,
3 to go. We're working hard out here. Yes, my boy. Yeah. Mentor, mentee bond. Mentor, mentee, baby. Oh, no. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay, let's go. Let's move on. But during that shutdown, gymnasts figured out any way they could to train makeshift gyms in their backyards, their garages, wherever they could.
Absolutely, and he was one of them.
All right, 3 rotations in the books here. Day 2, 3 more to go for the national championship here in San Jose, and it's oh so close. Awaiting rotation 4 here in San Jose, the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Day 2 for the men. Yul Moldauer has extended the lead. It's almost a full point now over Fred Richard. Moldauer goes to high bar, and Fred Richard over to floor here in this next rotation. Coy Young is right there, 2.5 plus. Off the lead, Asher Hong, who held the lead going into day 2, is in 4th ahead of Paul Judah as we continue here inside the SAP Center in a moment. In case you missed it, Simone Biles in action here at the National Championships. Always a treat, and she was sensational.
Oh my goodness. It's hard to believe that 2 different times in her career, she's taken about 2 years off, and both times come back better than ever. That's what's unbelievable. Look at this. State of the art plus 10.
Yeah, that was off the charts. Simone, the leader after the opening night here at the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. And don't miss the gold medal on the line, 7 p.m. on NBC into prime time, and also at 6:30 starting on Peacock Sunday night. So that's on tap tomorrow night here in San Jose. Meanwhile, we move on here. Night 2 for the men. John?
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to talk about the standings because Asher Hong came in the top spot into this night of competition. He's down almost 4 points behind the leader, But the interesting thing to keep in mind about Asher, he's the only gymnast among the contenders that can average over a 15 on his last 3 events. I tell you what, it looks like the standings have spread out, but it is still going to be really, really close at the end.
It's a good reminder, and this man, Paul Judah, right behind in 5th, a little more than 4 points off the lead.
Has been fabulous tonight. Was great day 1 on floor. Nice landing position. All of these landings, though, they're a little too quick. He's supposed to show complete control, which means stopping like that. That's how he wanted to land the first 3 passes. Nice body position. He has just had such a rocky road injury-wise. Full twisting double, and once again, he did that night 1 too. That is so hard to do at the end of a floor routine.
They should celebrate with that.
John, you did a full-in at the end on floor. Did you ever stick it at the end?
It's all black. It's all black and white to me, Sam. It's too long ago. You know, I talked to Jordan Gerenstrom, Paul's coach, before the competition about his vault in particular. You're going to do the Yurchenko double pike. He said no. He goes, look, Paul's been through a lot. 12 for 12 and healthy at the end of this competition is our goal, and hitting clean all around is our goal. And so far tonight, especially, looks like he's going to do that.
Yeah, we got to remind ourselves of that because he's been around for a while. We've watched him, but through the injuries, he's still 22 years old in the ascent of his career.
Beautiful full twisting double, knees together, and stoy. Stick that baby, and he does it. Gorgeous, gorgeous work, Paul Judah.
Top 5 coming in 5th right now. Terrific night so far. 14.75 the number for Judah. Well, it still rings, and Cole Walker in 8th. You watch this, and you got to keep remembering this is, yes, the national championship on the line. Is it within reach for someone in 8th right now? I don't know, but there's that world championship team as well.
Right, and remember, the bonus, the extra bonus that USA Gymnastics is doing comes out when considering that world team. And you have to look at not just the all-around scores, you have to look at where USA Gymnastics is good and where they're a little weak. This is an important routine for him. They're pretty good, but they could use his score here as well. But he also has been dealing with a lot of injuries. His best 2 events, vault and floor, are now his weakest. Big hop backwards. Has a nerve injury in his back that affects his foot and his calf. Not able to do the really tough stuff that he's always been able to do.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, a moment ago, over on parallel bars, Shane Wiskus, top 10 here, going into the 4th rotation.
And he really needs to have the next 3 be just off the charts. And they can. All 3 of them are excellent. Nice giant swing. Look at those feet. Are they touching the ground on those giants? Absolutely not. It's what he's looking for. Right to the handstand. Beautiful. Here we go. Now watch this. He's going to go from one end to the other. It's called a bafsar. Nicely done. Named after the great American gymnast Raj, who is here. really needs a stick. He sat down in day one, which is so unusual for him. A little bit of a hop, but way better than night one.
Mention Bob saw part of that 2008 Olympic team that was honored before the event this afternoon. Last Olympic men's team medal. Bronze medal that year for the Americans. 14.85 the number there. 14-1 on rings for Colt Walker.
14.85, that's almost a full point better than he was day one.
That was great.
Let's go!
How about Ian Gunther, the 23-year-old from Houston. Competed collegiately for Stanford. A moment ago, he was on high bar.
Actually has a very unique type element that hardly ever done in men's gymnastics now. Really cool. But it comes with a problem because that kip afterwards, it was just so fraught with potential deductions. And Ian also has just a huge social media following as well. Does some really funny stuff and likes to entertain the people. I saw him yesterday, the day off. He said, I just want to grow the sport, make it a little bit bigger. Love it so much. Nice dismount, full twisting double, but 3/10 hop at the end.
Trust it, let's go, full send. Let's get it, JR.
So 13.05 for Ian Gunther on high bar.
See, those are his stickers.
Go,
He's
JR.
developed them himself. I
Come
believe
on,
you can
JR.
buy them.
You know this. Yeah, come on. We won it, let's go. Come on, good, let's go. Come on, Joe. Come on, big throw.
Very important time now for Fred Richard. Over on floor. He's right there, a little less than a point off the lead of Yul Moldauer going into this rotation.
So he's a little less than a point, like you said, Terry. But if you take night one scores and you compare Fred to Yul is on high bar. If you take those night one scores, he'll move ahead of Yul on this event.
Yul just under 13 on high bar and just over 14 for Fred Richard on floor night one. So if they do the same here, which is not a given, but you can project a little bit.
Yes.
And we get closer.
And Fred actually was not his normal self on floor. There were a lot of steps, a lot of big ones as well. Does a very hard mount. Two and a half twisting double, better than he did night one. Super difficult. Nicely done. You see a lot of doubles, but you don't see 2.5s. And look at this, air flares, love it. Back up to the handstand. Gymnasts invented the flare. Kurt Thomas did it. The break dancers, they stole it from us, but they invented the air flare. This should be a stick. Very nice. Did not stick night one. Triple twist right here. Oh, excuse me, that's has one more pass. Right here is that dismount. Really wants to get this landing. Full twisting double, excuse me. Big step backwards. 3/10 step backwards. Overall, I would say it was a better routine than night one by just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you.
So 2 flips and 2 twists, really challenging, but he scoots an extra half turn right at the end. Tries to spot the floor over his shoulder and takes just a little step on it. So watch this right here, so cool. Very foreign element for gymnasts, but he has mastered it. You see guys that are really great try to do this, and it's so counterintuitive for a gymnast.
That just looks so cool, though.
Oh, golly. Fantastic. Love it, love it.
All right, critical time now. That number, yeah, it's better than it was on night 1. 14.314. With that bonus added in. So remember, Yul Moldauer goes to high bar. And here he is, 27th birthday today, trying to celebrate with a victory. Would be his second all-around title at the U.S. Championships.
And Yul has lots of potential on this event, but he sometimes doubts himself a little bit. He has 2 handstand elements late in his routine that he really needs to be confident and do them like he's capable. He didn't. Day 1, he had both form deductions and the angle wasn't great. And he also only did a full twisting double layout. Since he was a little kid, he's been capable of doing a triple twisting double layout. And I believe he told me he was going to do it one day at championships, so we'll see.
Is this the day?
So here we go. Oh boy, and that was really low again. Didn't get his hand on the bar. That was better though than day 1. He's got to grab the bar here. Oh boy.
Within your grasp, and
Yeah.
then it's not.
Yeah, but you know what? Yul has a problem. He goes too fast on these preparatory giants, and it just flings him over the bar. But let's see if he kind of misses that hand. It's close enough for sure, but the second hand, the left hand, does not get around the bar at all, and that nose was very close, if not touched.
It looked like it was, yeah.
Let's see. He is not going to repeat the element, which I think is a good idea for him. But that means he will also lose some of those difficulty points. Let's see if he does it. No, he does not. Just the full twisting double layout and several little hops there.
So his number on night 1 was 12.85. Remember what Fred Richard did on floor a moment ago? Well over 14. The separation between those two going into the rotation was just under a point.
Don't want to call it before it's official, but I'll call it. Fred Richards is going to be leading Yul Moldauer for sure after this.
So no real celebration on the sideline like we've seen throughout the night. And just waiting for that number to see how much it cost him. Current Phillips now parallel bars, and this is where he shines.
Yeah, he really has one of the very hardest routines being done in the world today. If he could put a routine together, if he makes that world team and puts a routine together, no question, he can make finals at the Worlds, and I believe he'll get a medal. These skills are so incredibly hard. When you go from your upper arms like this, he makes them look easy, and they're not. Here we go. Oh boy, you saw that coming. His shoulders were just a little bit out of line for him, and that is a huge mistake for him. You got to remember, it's not just the mistake that he made, but this is an event where he really helps Team USA, but this score would not help them at the World Championships. Now that's too bad.
Parallel bars champ, the U.S. Championships last year, at the highest number on this event, night 1, but problems here on day 2.
Yeah, I talked to his coach a little bit, Psych Caesar, before the competition about Curran, and he said, you know, he feels a lot of pressure. His meet is 3 events, and he knows those 3 events have to be almost perfect to get him on that world team, and he says it's a challenge. But just backing up to that routine, I know it wasn't great for him, but Tim, you mentioned how difficult those upper arm skills are. I worked on those my whole career. I never was able to make one of those.
Look at the hit on the number for high bar, 11-2, Tim.
Yeah, I thought it would be a mid-11, and that's smarts.
So that top spot is going to change. How about the man in 4th going into this rotation who had the lead to start the day, Asher Hong on still rings?
Well, John Roethlisberger said it earlier. Yeah, he dropped quite a bit, but he has got 3 just off the charts routines. Very physically strong. Watch this right here. An inverted cross, gotta hold it for 2 seconds. That's excellent. Very nicely done. Great position right there, freezes it, and another Maltese. You know, sometimes, Terry, you can get so good on an event like still rings, and you push yourself to do more difficulty, more strength, and it's really easy to get deductions on it because you're so tired. Hardest dismount being competed today in the world. Double-double laid out. Stuck this perfect in warm-ups.
Asher Hall making a big move here.
Yeah, that was big. That was a great routine. You know, sometimes it's a little frustrating. John and I talk about it all the time. There's the differentiation, the separation between a great routine execution-wise and a good routine isn't significant enough. That was great right there. And let's hope the judges are listening.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, Tim. But this meet is so far from over. He was 3-8 back going into that ring routine. And that, I think the term you used was lights out, and I think that was an understatement. Amazing job.
And it gets better on the next event. He had this one too in warm-ups. It was so easy. It's beautiful, but just the smallest little hop. Bend your knees, stay down a little bit longer, be patient. And that's a stick, but. And remember, Terry, there are 2 more Hongs in the pipeline. It's going to be the Hong Dynasty.
Xander and Kiefer, you're exactly right. And Xander came in 3rd earlier here. This competition won the junior event
Stanford
at the
Corral.
Core Hydration Classic recently. There it is, 15.099. So that is better than he did on the opening night. That's going to be a big move. And yes, he was 3.8 points off the lead of your Moldauer, but that low score for Moldauer and Heimbach. Boy, a moment ago on still rings.
And this is a place where Coy, in being considered for the world team, just needs to be clean. Doesn't need to have a phenomenal routine. This isn't somewhere that they would want to put him up in the team finals. It's a 5-person team, and in the team finals, they take those 5 people and they take the top 3 gymnasts. So he wouldn't compete on rings, but he sure would on floor, pommel horse, and vault. Picked up a little bit of swing. which is obviously a deduction, and his elbows were just a little bent on that. There you go. And that was the patience I was talking about.
Right in front of his teammates, 13-2 the number.
How do you do infinity? Infinity? Infinity energy.
Trying to get other people to say so.
Yeah.
Hammer's on you, though. 14-7, 4-4, Kern Phillips on parallel bars. We expected higher than that. However, in this fourth rotation, a big move for Fred Richard. Was in second, but on top of the standings right now. He has taken over here in San Jose. Don't forget to get social with the hashtag Xfinity Champs and follow at usgymchampionships.com for more information. Head to the next rotation. There has been a change at the top. A move by Fred Richard. Now he is in the lead. Look at the numbers. And Asher Hong has moved into second place. So Yul Moldauer, who had the lead from first down to third with the problems on high bar. Paul Judah, Corey Young rounding out the top 5. 2 rotations left with a national title on the line here in San Jose. That time of the year, the NFL season kicks off Thursday, September 7th. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs hosting the Detroit Lions Thursday, September 7th, only on NBC and Peacock. Another beautiful day here in San Jose, Bay Area. Neither a Chiefs or a Lions fan. Gymnastics fan. All right, so we head to the fifth rotation here. This has gotten really interesting. It was Asher Hong who led to start day 2. Top 5 were so close, and now it is Fred Richard who leads the way over Asher Hong, Yul Moldauer, Judah, Young rounding out the top 5. And obviously we'll talk more about it as we go, but really matters what your 2 remaining events are, Tim.
And those 2 remaining events for Asher Hong are vault and parallel bars. If you take night 1 for Fred Richards and night 1 for Asher Hong, you put those scores together, believe it or not, Fred has 2 points basically.
Yep.
Asher's going to pass him.
And Moldauer right now is just a 1/10 of a point outside of second place where Asher Hong is too. So it is still close.
It's wide open.
Start on vault here in the 5th rotation. In 8th place heading into this, Cole Walker, the 22-year-old from Texas.
I think the injury was just a bit too much for him to handle. He's still a great gymnast, but I think he needs 1 more year, get his floor and his vaulting back. He was one of the best on this event. Oh, that was great. That was spectacular.
That is right up to that standard.
Absolutely. The thing is he's capable of doing a much harder vault than that. But since the nerve injury with his back, he has not been able to prepare that. But Gymnastics 101, Terry, fly high and stick the landing. You gotta love this. 2.5 twist, spot that ground. Don't you dare move.
He didn't.
Such a tough young man.
That team aspect too. Yes, the support, but also it takes your mind off of what you're going to do next too when you're cheering from the sidelines.
You know, I say it all the time. Gymnastics, there's no defense, so it doesn't help you to really dislike your teammate or your competitor. You can't go up there and tackle him.
I bet you still did some.
Well, when no one was looking. That's a big number right there. 14.65 with a 9.45 execution.
Come on!
Just thinking about the top 5 right now. Yes, about 2 points separating Fred Richard from Asher Hong, but then less than a point separating second from 5th. Comes down to 2 rotations now for those at the top, and this is the man at the very top. Fred Richard, ready to go on pommel horse.
And he had a 13.8 night 1. But on his first element, it's a skill that goes to a handstand. He's supposed to stay on one pommel. He steps down from the pommel to the end. Perfect today. Really tough to get your hands down. Oh, kind of kicked the horse a little bit there. Nice extension on these flares. And he's turning his body in the opposite way that he's circling. Oh boy. And that. Wow.
You could sense that happening before it happened.
Oh yeah, 1.5 circles before I could see that he was in big trouble, just not in a good position at all. Doesn't clip his legs anywhere. But right here, he is way off. And no way, because he doesn't get his right hand down and then lean over that shoulder. If you're not leaning over the shoulder that is down, then you are off balance and you are off the horse, 1 point off. Oh boy. And this is catastrophic right here.
This is really costly.
And it's unthinkable for him. He just doesn't. A lot of other guys, you could say, got in their head, and you know, they couldn't let it go, and they went up there, and you know, they were still thinking about the fall. That is not the case with Fred. The only thing that I would have done is, when you fall off the apparatus, you have a full 30 seconds before you have to get back up again. I would have taken that full 30 seconds, and I don't think he did. But that's gonna hurt a lot.
13.8 was his number, night 1. And remember, Asher Hong goes to vault.
Yeah. I mean, Asher just has to he doesn't even have to stay on his feet to move ahead.
Yeah, Asher was mid-15s on vault night 1. So this is really gonna cost a lot.
Yeah, this is going to be it's going to be an 11, and you know, you do not want to see an 11. We saw Yul Moldauer get one on a high bar
and took him out of the lead all the way down to 3rd. Got to be an awful feeling now, waiting for the number.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because you know, Yul was right behind there in the standings too, and certainly if Asher hits, he's going to stay in front of Yul, but it definitely opens that field up a little bit.
Well,
a lot can still happen.
Well,
yeah, I'm surprised. I did not think that would be out of the 11s, but it is. It's still very, very painful. 1.5 points lower than he did night 1. And night 1, remember, he had that mistake off the top.
So I mentioned it, Asher Hong now in second, just over 2 points off the lead going into this rotation. Over on vault.
And he's actually capable of doing 2 different vaults. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do. I think he's going to do his hardest one right here, the Risei Guan, 3 times around. And he does, and that is fantastic. He steps out of bounds, but it doesn't matter. Gonna be a giant, giant number.
May have taken that step, but it was sensational up until that point, and the difficulty is off the charts.
It is off the charts. He's gonna be in in the 15s. I would say this was much better than he did night one. Still tucks his knees a little too early, but 3 flips with a full twist, 1 leg out. You see that? And that's critical right there. Both legs do not go out of bounds, so that's only 1/10 as opposed to 3. I believe he had 3 night one. Oh, he's pulling those legs as hard as he can. If I did a stomach contraction like that one time, pulling those legs, contracting your stomach one time, I would rip every single ab muscle that I don't even
John,
have
let's
anymore.
get a collection. I want to see that. I think we should see that.
I think Tim pulled an ab muscle just watching.
I think he did.
Actually.
All right, so that's definitely enough. He only needed 14.4 and change, 15.105. He's going to go ahead of Fred Richard.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's right. I think that vault was better than night one, and he scored higher night one.
Now over to floor exercise, and Yul Moldauer in 3rd place going into this rotation. And he was right behind Asher Hong. He was like 1/10 of a point behind Asher Hong. So that's all that separated them. We'll see what number Yul comes up with here on floor.
Well, it can be a big one. In his first major senior meet at the 2017 World Championships, Yul won a bronze medal on floor.
I mean, Yul's not going to match Asher's score on vault, but the best he can do is just be perfect and hope to keep it close and a chance to steal it on the last event.
Oh boy. And this is the kind of gymnastics we're used to Yul doing. Sticking gymnastics. This one, and that's unbelievable. I can count on 2 fingers how many times I've seen him do that in a meet and not stick it. Wow. Hands didn't go down, but I would say it's a full point off. Oh boy, big problem. So that's a full point right there. So, like Fred Richards, Yul has 2 falls on his 5th event as well.
Door was open. He did not run through. Opportunity right there on floor for Yul Moldauer.
It's very, very surprising. You know, he made the finals at the Olympic Games as well.
He was 6th, just outside the top 5 on floor.
And he had a very uncharacteristic mistake there on a flare skill. But both of those skills, he's been able to do both of them for about 10 years, I would say.
This is some event, isn't it? I mean, we've gotten used to at the national championships for the men, the top man being dominant, not this year.
So here's double front with a half turn at the end, and he just is so trying to stick that, maybe too aggressively, legs too tight. And then later, this one even worse. If you put your hands down or if you sit down like that right there, and that's considered a sit, it's a full point off. And then he loses some bonus because he didn't do the skill he was supposed to do.
Yeah, devastating floor team. And you mentioned it, Tim, how uncommon that is. I've only seen him miss floor twice. And one was the Olympics he talked about, and one was here. And you just got to wonder, too, if he knew how perfect he had to be. You know he's going to win. He's trying to win the meet. And if he knew how perfect he had to be, sometimes that's almost a kiss of death, right? You just got to let it happen.
As a gymnast, would he have been aware of what Fred Richard did on pommel horse?
Yul might be. As a gymnast, I wouldn't. Tim, I don't know about you watching other athletes, but Yul looks around. I think he pays attention to what the standings are and what the scores are.
Yeah, I think he knew. Absolutely, he knew.
12.65. Devastating.
Oh, he has not seen a 12.65 on floor in a very, very long time.
ever.
So that vault for Asher Hong, a big moment in this rotation. How about Coy Young about to go here in this 5th rotation? Take a look at the Prevagen memorable moment, night 1, Tim.
And this is one of the most perfect pieces of gymnastics I have ever seen. This is so hard. Great form onto the table. Double laid out somersault with 2.5 twists and a perfect landing. Wow.
The Prevagen memorable moment. So we had a look at him a moment ago, and here is Coy Young coming down to vault.
You know this, come on, absorb.
And once again, we did not see this. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Darn near as good as day 1. That is so hard. He makes that look so easy.
So that was a short time ago. Over 15 on vault for Coy Young, who was in 5th place going into this rotation. Little less than 3 points off the lead of Fred Richard.
And that is a big event for him because Team USA needs a big vault like that, and he just delivered. Not just once, but 2 days in a row.
How about Paul Judah in 4th going into this rotation? So he's right there, 2.5 points off the lead going into rotation number 5 on pommel horse. Last man to go on pommel.
And he does really predominantly, really it's only flare work, does some scissors to get started, but then it's all flare, and he's got 2 big skills that go up and down, up to a handstand and back down. Does a lot of these. He says he goes when he feels ready, and that does not look like he was ready. Exactly. I talked to his coach about this. I said, you know, it looks dangerous to me to do so many flares before he goes up. It looks like he's giving himself the opportunity to doubt himself. And so he is not repeating it as well. So not only does he have the 1 point for the fall, but his maximum potential score will be down significantly as well. Oh, he was so good today thus far. Such an elegant gymnast to watch, but that's gonna hurt. Well over a point off.
That's not just gonna hurt his all-around standings, Tim, but I know you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. He's great on horse, and he's great, potentially great on vault if he does the Yurchenko double pike, but like a Coy Young, great on horse, great on vault. These two are fighting for the same world team spot, in my opinion, and with that mistake, you gotta just wonder, man, could that have just slipped through his fingers?
Yeah, it's a great point, and I was thinking about it.
So the last 2 that we've seen, opportunity right there, but unable to come through. 7th place, Shane Wiskus, short time ago on high bar.
And Shane is actually really good on high bar. Beautiful. Does really hard gymnastics, but he has come off the bar a lot on this skill. He did day 1. Great today. Oh, really nicely done. Also, we'll want to do a connection right here. Ooh. It's been all high-flying releases. Good handstand there. This is a big routine for him because Team USA without Brody Malone is a little weak on high bar. Very nicely done. Big step on the landing, but
to 13.65. Yeah, it's not just about the all-around. It is about what the team needs and who is good on what event. 13.05 for pommel for Judah. And Phillips getting set. And Phillips on high bar now.
And he had a rough go. Night one on this event. He really needed to run the board. 3 events, day 1, 3 events, day 2, to have, in my opinion, a fighting chance to make that world team. Oh, great. There we go now. Big releases. Nowhere near done, though, Terry.
But the oohs and ahs from the crowd.
And he's far away from the bar on those releases, which is what you want. This is a great routine. He actually took the skill out that gave him problems. Couple little shimmies on that landing. It's going to be a very nice score.
He wowed the crowd with that. They were reacting to every skill.
So much difficult, super difficult gymnastics in that routine.
The question is, Tim, is it enough?
Yeah.
His 3 events, you know, if you combine his parallel bars from yesterday and his high bar from today, man, it's pretty enticing, right, to have those routines in a team final for the USA.
You saw Sam McCulloch there, one of the coaches now. Congratulations, 6-time U.S. all-around champ, medalist in this event at the World Championships.
But John, what you got to do then is you got to take the best one from the 2 days, which they will look at that. The selection committee will definitely look at that. But if you have compelling evidence on 2 days versus 1 day, then they're going to go with 2 days.
And there's a computer involved in
Oh,
that
it's very computer driven. It was a program that was developed for them.
What do you think of that number, 13,972?
I thought it could have been a little bit higher, to be perfectly honest. But that score for Team USA, if you go down the list and look at what Team USA scores on high bar, that's a big number.
Okay. Donnell Wittenberg got 2 events where he's very good. In 11th place after the 4th rotation. Still rings, and then he finishes up on vault.
And he is just ridiculously strong on this event. Look at him open his wrists like that and then push up to a planche. Very difficult, done gorgeous. Once again, he opens his wrists. You're not allowed to have you're not allowed to put your wrist bone against the ring. The judges deduct for that, and he shows that I'm not doing it, judges. Once again, same thing. I talked with his coach before the meet. I said if he was doing his vault and he had a meet like yesterday and today and he could land one of those vaults, I think he would be very much in the conversation.
All right, so there is the number. It's over 15 for Donnell Wittenberg, trying to make a little move here late on day 2 of the national championships. And Asher Hong with that vault got the lead going into the final rotation. Top 3 within a point. It is close. Back with a reminder, don't miss the show where deals and dreams come true. Watch Shark Tank Sunday through Thursday starting at 8 Eastern on CNBC. Tim, we're in the Shark Tank. That's where they play right here, SAP Center of the NHL. This week all about gymnastics. How about this? Okay, so the standings right now, Asher Hong has taken the lead. Fred Richard, then Coy Young. Those 3 are all within a point, but with what they have left, and that is always important, who's good on what event, this is the projected. Take us through this.
Well, you know, Asher Hong, basically he just has to stay alive on parallel bars, and he is going to win his first ever senior national all-around title. But if you look at where Fred Richards is going, it's not a great routine for him. On the still rings, he doesn't have the level of difficulty. Coy Young, because of his last vault, and this routine coming up, what he did night one, he's going to be second.
So that's all based on night one and what they did, and there's no guarantee they're going to do that again here, because the other element that comes into it, you go into the last rotation at the national championships knowing that all the pressure is on you.
Oh, absolutely. For Asher Hong, you know, yeah, he doesn't have that much pressure in a score sense because he can do a little bit of a rough routine and still come out on top. But you know, I said it the other night, winning a U.S. senior national title is one of your dreams. If you are a male gymnast from the United States, you want to go to the Worlds, you want to go to the Olympics, win a medal at both of them, but you also want to be senior national all-around champion. He'll fulfill a dream tonight.
This next generation here taking over, and the veterans still in the mix. We'll see. It comes down to this final rotation. Day 2 in San Jose at the National Championships. So it comes down to this final rotation. Asher Hong in the lead, trying to win a U.S. all-around title. Fred Richard right there. Coy Young right there. Top 3 are within a point, and it is Fred Richard who will start on still rings.
He actually did a great routine for him. Night one, got to hold every strength part for 2 seconds. Pretty good. I'll do a similar move. This is called the Maltese. Got to really, and once again, I do not think that that was held for 2 seconds. They didn't really hammer him night one, but you have to be stationary, not moving at all for 2 seconds like that one. That was definitely good. He was phenomenal on the landing. Night one, double-double, small little hop. It was good. I mean, this guy, what a future. Such a daredevil, capable of so much difficulty and such a shining personality. Just love to see this.
Yeah, you can't stop watching when he's out there competing.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at this. It was his second strength part, the Maltese. Comes right here. We're looking at this in real time. He's got to stop 1/1000. Not in my book. And on top of it, the position wasn't perfect. We saw some earlier today, Daniel Wittenberg, Alex Diab, doing that Maltese just perfectly.
And the smallest mistakes, the smallest deductions is going to come down to that. Less than 7/10 of a point out of the lead going into this final rotation. Wittenberg will finish up on vault. You saw him on still rings in the last rotation, and now you're in rotation 6 on vault.
And remember, he had an issue similar to Simone Biles at the Olympics. He got the twisties one day training floor exercise, and he landed, got all lost in the air, landed on his upper back and neck, was dealing with spasms for quite a while. And because of that, he and his coach told me he wasn't able to train his big vault. So he won't be doing that here. Elise Guan, the same thing we saw from Asher Hong. And that was very nice. Very, very good job. And I'll tell you what, he has had a great championships. To really, I think, be a factor. If he had just been able to do that vault, it would have been a very big deal. His coach told me, Anthony told me, that, you know, he's been on a bunch of world teams, a whole bunch. And his goal Yeah, he wanted to make the Worlds, but his goal is to make the Olympic Games. It's his 3rd time around trying to do that.
5 times he's been on a World Championship team. Won a bronze medal at Worlds on vault back in 2015. 13.95, so it doesn't approach what Fred Richard did on rings the first night.
Yeah, a little lower, but once again, they were not really that strict on that routine, I have to tell you.
All right, so very much in the mix. Parallel bars now, the 24-year-old from San Antonio, Blake Soon.
He's also phenomenal on this event. The problem is that a guy like Blake, who's basically a specialist, does a couple of events, but the problem is Team USA on parallel bars is just stacked. And yeah, if he made a world team, he could contribute. He would do a team finals for the USA, but it wouldn't be a big enough spread to justify taking him for just that event.
Yeah, this is his event, though.
Another one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. His dad, a longtime gymnastics person, owns a club. Double pike. Little hop on the landing. Boy, he's a joy to watch, I'll tell you.
Been a leader for Stanford. Three-time captain at Stanford. And a 3-time team NCAA champ.
Same thing. Same thing, right?
You guys are pretty goofy with one another. I don't know if you've been.
That's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Can you help with those bars?
Head coach right there, Tom Galini.
Well, not right now, but yeah, I mean, when the guys are going.
On rings, Cameron Bach getting set. In 7th coming into this final rotation overall.
Very beautiful gymnast as well. Won a major title at the Winter Cup in the all-around. Kind of really set him up, but he's been around for a long, long time. As a kid, he was really tremendous on many national teams and was all-around champion more than once in the junior program. You mentioned Sam McCulloch, who's on the floor coaching. He's from the same private club in Southern California as Sam. Whoop, big step on the landing. And of course, Sam went to Michigan as well.
24-year-old from Tustin, California. Won that Winter Cup all around back in 2021. So Donnell, 14.45, the number for the vault.
Just helped them, right? That 2 weeks of our...
Blake Soon just under 15.4. Another man in the mix, top 3 going into this final rotation. And it's all on the line. Boy Young getting set. There you go. Less than 9/10 of a point.
That is the start of the rotation. And remember, if he does what he did night 1, he will move ahead of Fred Richard. And Fred Richard, I believe it was 1/10 less than he did day 1. Very beautiful lines. Oh, gorgeous flight on that. Some people just kind of make it around, but when you can get some air time, it is beautiful to watch. Also does that double pike dismount. That's a 3/10 hop, but that was pretty darn good. If you look at how they evaluated him night 1, if they do it the same way now, I believe he will move into that 2nd spot.
14.106 is what he needs. to lead. Remember, Asher Hong still to come on parallel bars.
So watch this from one end of the bars to the other, and look at how high he's got to just catapult his body up and over the bars. Love it. One of my favorite moves in gymnastics. He does it extremely well. A stick would have been perfect, but let's look. Is this more than a foot? Absolutely. That's a 3/10 hop right there.
Less than 2/10 of a point behind Fred Richard going into this rotation.
Needs a 14-1 and change. I can't imagine that they don't give this to him here.
All the teenagers we're seeing emerge. This man's just 20 years of age. 14.25, and that's enough. He moves ahead of Fred Richard.
What a job for him.
Asher Hong still to come. Bach 13.7 on rings. And how about Yul Moldauer? He's going to finish up on pommel horse in 5th going into this final rotation. He led for the first half of the evening.
And this is a big routine for Yul as well, because Team USA needs 3 great pommel horse scores at World Championships. And Yul is absolutely capable of doing that, but he has to deliver. Nice flare work. So far, this is excellent. Just has to stay big here. And hopefully has enough gas in the tank to fly up right here. Oh. And it was very good. Yes, he's going to get some rhythm deductions.
Tim, he fought to the very end for that.
Absolutely. And I think with that routine right there, that's going to be valuable enough. Team USA is going to want that score. But boy, did he make it complicated.
Yeah, I talked to Yul before the competition, how he was feeling, and we talked about his rotation today and ending on pommel horse. He's getting some comments from his teammates here.
18! He's 18 today! Congratulations. I'm 27 now.
Big time players make big time plays. That's what I like to see. Let's go.
Way to go, man. Way to go.
And he told me, he said, I love finishing on pommel horse. He said, every workout, at the end of the workout, I go back and I do a pommel horse routine so I can do it when I'm tired.
Let's go, Ian.
And for this exact moment, and that was a big, important routine for him, and it paid off.
On his 27th birthday, Yul Moldauer.
Yeah, it was a great routine. He struggled just a little bit on the handstand, and overall, that was excellent.
13.929. Stephen Nedorodzic, who had that great routine on pommel in that first rotation. 7.6 the execution.
Yeah, boy, that was harsh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got this, Shane. Let's go. Take it up.
This man knows it comes down to this routine. The final one, the final rotation to be the U.S. all-around champ, Asher Hong, with the lead. Little more than half a point. That's it going into this rotation.
If you're one of the greats, you got to be able to deliver when your back is up against the wall, but you also have to be able to deliver when you just need to get through. His release, very nice. So far, so good. This is really critical, and he deals with it. That was excellent. Looked a little bit off balance to me. Just the dismount. Put it to his feet. Yes! And finishes with an exclamation mark. but there's your national all-around champion right there. If the judges don't do that, they don't get lunch.
Dude, I'm cramping everywhere now. Dude, me too.
This is what it comes down to in gymnastics. This is what it comes down to in all of sports. When it's all on the line, you're about to start that final routine, and you know you've got to come through, and you do.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, he had little things that were a bit quirky, but absolutely, there should be no way that that is not enough to claim a title that he has literally, not just like kind of dreamed about, but literally dreamed about.
13.425 is what he would need to take the lead.
When I was saying he's going to be the champion, one of his high school coaches, Tom Meadows, longtime coach, was listening to me, and he gave me the thumbs up, and he was saying, yes, baby.
Great day.
Yeah, congrats to them, too, Tom Meadows and Igor Verny.
There it is, 14-9. Asher Hong takes the top spot.
Well deserved, well deserved.
Come on, Jerry!
19 years of age from Texas. Stanford Cardinal well represented here, just a half hour away from campus.
Really struggled on that. He was a little bit off balance, but you can't even tell. I remember seeing Asher Hong when he was a little boy. I mean, really little. And I thought there's no way a little kid like this can be this good. No way, it's impossible. He is a phenom. As I said, it has been a long time coming, but he has arrived.
Was on that world championship team. Think how young he was competing against the best in the world, on his way once again to do just that, and eventually part of the plan is most likely the Olympics in Paris.
There's his coach right there, Tom Galimi.
Yeah!
There you go, Tom, and you kept it clean. He was so worried about that.
Well, we did have that on tape, you know,
Yeah.
so who knows?
And I bent my arm.
Wow. That was exciting.
I landed, sat up, and then I'm like, oh. Good job, boys. What up?
Boy, those two.
Yeah, think about
1-2
that.
on
If you're the
Stanford.
coach of Stanford and you've got not only all these athletes who are here we talked about, but two of the top gymnasts in this event. So that was taking place on still rings. Paul Judith in sixth place coming into the final rotation.
Paul Judith family, love you guys. Thank you for everyone.
Such a classical gymnast in so many ways. Had a big fall, both night one on his first event, the high bar, and then the event before this came off on pommel horse. He has been through so much. Won the NCAA title in 2022, beating Brody Malone. And after that point, it was just injury after injury. Wanted to come back for NCAAs last year. Warmed up before the competition, jammed all of his fingers on the bar and said, you know what, we're not going to do this. Thus far this year, though, he has looked great. Would have loved to have seen him do the Yurchenko double pike as Simone competed last night. A little bit of a hop.
Well on the road back, though.
Love you guys. Dziękuję za wszystko. Cała rodzina. Dziękuję. Love you guys.
All right, so I got the number for him over to parallel bars. Colt Walker getting set.
So first, second, and currently fourth for Stanford.
Yeah, this man was a little less than 2.5 points off the lead going into this final rotation.
And this is actually a big routine for Colt. Scored 15 plus day one on parallel bars. Very clean, composed gymnast. Oh, once again, he just had like a little extra float on that. I thought he was done going up, and it just kind of kept going. This is one of the most error-free routines I've seen all day, just the dismount. Wow.
There it is. Colt Walker with the finish.
Spectacular.
And no one else was out competing at that time. He had the stage to himself. Is it Team USA or Team Stanford?
Crazy, right? Well, we've said it, you know, they have 4 in a row national NCAA titles.
It's not as painful when you hit the routine.
Yeah, when it goes like that, it's fine.
The entire team standing and watching.
Yeah, and they talk about it. You know, they say that it's like every day is being at a national team camp because all the best guys are here.
That was a little college flair to this level.
Yeah, that was real too.
So 15-2-5, the number parallel bars for Colt Walker. Remember, he was in 4th going into this rotation. But it is Asher Hong leading the way for them and everyone here throughout the national championships.
It's going to be the same. There'll be different lights, different venue, different competitors, whether it's Worlds or Olympics. This journal about how you got through this and how you were successful. And if there are issues that you have, take note. Let's get that those directions.
So different, Tim, because you are competing with them. They're your support system, but you're competing against them too.
Absolutely.
At the same time.
Yes.
What a week for the Cardinal. Asher Hong, what a week for him. The U.S. all-around champ. The 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by Core Hydration. Core Hydration believes that wellness is whatever works for you. Find your balance, find your core. By Prevagen. By Angie. Visit Angie.com to connect with skilled professionals for all your home projects. And by Xfinity, the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. Back with a look at the final results. Asher Hong, the 2023 U.S. all-around champ. Coy Young in 2nd, Fred Richard in 3rd, Colt Walker. So you got 3 of the top 4 from Stanford. Yul Moldauer had the lead early on here on day 2, and he rounds out the top 5 as we send it over now to John.
Thanks, Terry. Asher, an incredible debut at the World Championships last fall. Now your first national championship. What's this mean to you?
I mean, it means a whole lot, especially, you know, competing last year and, you know, working those 6-0 sets in for the first year and then coming out swinging this year, you know, a whole year of experience under my belt. So, I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm just glad I performed.
So you came in with the lead, but halfway through today's competition, after 3 events, you're almost 4 points back. Did you know that?
I mean, I tried not to, but it's hard when the announcers say it, so I kind of did. But yeah, I mean, Tom always says, and all my coaches in the past have always said that, you know, anything can happen. And we really learned that at Worlds last year when, you know, everyone was falling. Italy was falling on a horse, everyone's falling on a horse. And, you know, that really kind of blurred the competition. So, I mean, anything can happen, and you need to go out there, and if it's the last 3 events or last 2 events especially, you need to go out there and do your job. So, yeah, and that's what I try to replicate.
How big was the Stanford contingent that you have here and their energy? How important was that to you and your success tonight?
Oh, it's number one. It's number one. Like, it's number one priority, especially in the NCAA, you know. The team aspect of it, you need to come swinging with your team. And, you know, that's why I love having my, like, 11 of my guys out here with me, competing with me. So it's really easy to keep the energy up. And so that's what we want to replicate at Worlds, you know, like that team spirit, that team energy. Like I've said before in other interviews, we've all been in that NCAA space before, right? So we can replicate that, and back behind that identity, I think we can really come swinging this World Championships.
Well, quickly about Worlds, no Brody Malone. It looks like you're going to have a young team there. What can America expect from this young U.S. men's team?
I mean, we're going to come out swinging. We're gonna go out and show our stuff and show our young talent. So.
Well, congratulations on your national championship, and good luck at the World Championships. Thanks, Asher.
All right, John, thank you. So study and patience and confidence, too. A little bit of a struggle early, but then knew he had 3 very strong events to finish up here on day 2 of the U.S. Championships. Take a look at today's powerful performance presented by the Xfinity 10G Network. The Xfinity 10G Network gives you a powerful connection today for a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. Tim.
Powerful. This is ridiculously powerful. 3 flips around with a full twist. Get out of here. Unbelievable. And also, when he needed to put it all out there, a champion's got to be able to deliver under every circumstance. And this young man, boy, did he ever.
Did come down to that last rotation on parallel bars. Asher Hong, he knew he had to deliver. He did exactly that to win the U.S. all-around title. How about big picture? What's this mean, what you saw this week for the U.S. men?
Well, I think it's good news. I think that the U.S. has a lot of athletes that can really contribute. And if you talk to any of them, not just the Stanford guys, any of the top 10 guys, you ask them a question about them, they always come back to the team right away. They don't even answer your question. They come back to the team. Shane Wiskus, who was on the Olympic team, and Yul Moldauer, they both said it was so hard coming home from a games empty-handed. They all talk about standing on that podium with their brothers, and it can happen. You got these 2 young guys who are phenomenal. Yul Moldauer struggled. Yes, there's no question about that, but Coy Young, wow.
But you've got the teenagers who are stepping up now to that next level, and still the veterans like Yul Moldauer still right there, very competitive. And Brody Malone, who John talked to earlier, hoping, but expecting to be there by next summer.
Yeah, and I think Brody Malone will be. But look at this. It is gorgeous and so incredibly challenging to pull off. Almost stuck it. 2 competitions in a row. He's a young man, as you said, as well, and has a very bright future.
And that willingness to take it to the next level in terms of difficulty, too, which has been a priority for the U.S. men, trying to get out of that about 5th place finish, whether it's the Olympics or the World Championships.
Absolutely, and they did a lot of things. They encouraged it. They gave you additional bonus on top of what you would get at a Worlds or an Olympics to encourage the guys to go out there, to take that risk. If you make it, then great. If you falter a little bit, you still got a buffer.
They're going to announce that world team tomorrow. We're out of time, so you can't make a prediction. Too bad. Hey, it's been great, man. Great to be with you here at the U.S. Championships.
Thank you, Terry.
What a night on night 1, and then today followed up Asher Hong, U.S. all-around champ. That does it for day 2 of this men's competition. Remember, you can watch all the routines at the USA Gymnastics YouTube channel. For John Roethlisberger, Tim Daggett, and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm Terry Gannon saying so long for now from San Jose and the 2023 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships.